means you can end up with lumps. And I've seen a lot of people get lumps. It's real easy to get them. All you have to do to make sure that doesn't happen is follow the recipe. And one of those things it says here is to combine half the sugar with the cornstarch. So, half the sugar with the cornstarch. Right? And we use the granules of sugar to break up the lumps. That helps make sure that it's lump-free. So I'm just going to kind of work that with my hands a little bit, just to get rid of all those lumps. It also mentions here to combine the remaining milk, and add 10% of the milk and the eggs to the cornstarch. Now, I'll mention this especially with emphasis here. Don't add the eggs until after you've added the milk. And the reason why is because the milk will help the cornstarch turn into a slurry, but eggs are chock full of protein, which will grab onto the starch and make instant lumps. And instant lumps are not a good thing. So we're going to go ahead and add about 10% of the milk. You know, just a little bit of milk. It doesn't have to be a lot. The idea here is to make a slurry. A slurry, for those of you in Chef Pilates class, about the consistency of
heavy cream.
Heavy cream. Yeah, so, and that's about what it is. You know, it's about the consistency of heavy cream, give or take. I double check the bottom, make sure I've got all the starch off the bottom.
Oh, and it feels really cool in here.
It does. It does. It has a really neat feeling to it. It's very slippery.
I find it gross.
Having that slurry is going to make all the difference, because now you can crack your eggs and put them in there and it won't cause lumps. And this will become your all your thickeners together. Your eggs are part of the thickener, and your cornstarch is the rest of it. So I'm going to kind of combine that all, and get that all together. And I do this now because I don't want to worry about it later. You know, when I'm in the middle of stuff, I don't want to have to be doing all this, trying to figure out how to get it all together real quick. So now that that's done, we can go ahead and start on the rest of it. We'll take the other half of the sugar, put it in the pot with the milk. We're also going to be putting in the salt, which is a little pinch of salt, a little vanilla. So the salt is just for flavor. That's all it's for. It really doesn't add anything in the way of consistency. It is optional. But I'll tell you, you add a little bit of salt to any pastry item, and it's going to bring up the flavors more than what you had before. And you'll be glad you did it. Alright, so let's crank up the fire.
Wow.
Now, doing this is going to help to dissolve the sugar, of course, and it's going to bring the milk up to temperature. We don't want to add the milk, or we don't want to add this egg mixture to the milk directly. We're going to create what we call a liaison. For those of you who are first-year students, you may not have heard that word before, except in terms of the United Nations or something like that. A liaison is a go-between. So in the world of governments and in the world of pastry, a liaison is a go-between. What we're going to use it for is to get those eggs into that hot milk without causing scrambled eggs. We don't want scrambled eggs. So what we want to have is a nice smooth mixture. And in order to get there, we have to kind of ease the eggs into the process, kind of give them a chance to get warmed up slowly. I'm already getting steam here, so this is already warming up pretty quick.
What do you want to bring it to?
I'm going to bring it up to a simmer, you know, up to the boiling point. And then we're going to be adding a little bit of this milk to the eggs. Just a little bit. We're going to whisk it in. As we do that, the eggs will start to warm up. And as they do, we'll add a little more milk. And as we add the milk to the eggs, it will warm those eggs slowly. We can then pull this whole thing off the fire and add our eggs back to the mix, back to the bowl, back to the pot, slowly, and whisk them in. That will prevent the possibility of the eggs cooking too early and too fast. We just want the eggs to cook slowly. We want to bring them up to temperature so they thicken rather than causing scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs will give you classic curdling. It will really curdle. I mean, it'll look like, well, it'll look like butter that's too cold mixed in with your eggs. It'll look really, really bad. So we're going to go ahead and take it easy on this, just to make sure the eggs are comfortable. Yeah, make sure they're comfortable.
Wow, that's huge.
And this isn't even a full flame here. This is an induction burner. There it goes. Be careful with milk. Anytime you have milk on the fire, it's very quick to boil over.
So as soon as it starts boiling, you add it.
Yeah, as soon as it comes up to a boil, I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit to my liaison here. There we go. I've got a small container. This is how I whisk. Try not to lose too much. Now the fire's still on, so I'm not going to put it back on the fire just yet. Now that the eggs are warm, we'll take the liaison and we'll just bring that together with the rest of the milk. And you may be wondering, hey, what about the butter? Did you forget the butter? No, I haven't forgotten. The butter goes at the very end. So I'll put this back on the fire and I'll lower my flame a little bit and bring it on down to about a medium flame. And I'm just going to keep working this, down in the corners. Try to make sure you just keep working. You can use either whisk if you want, or you can use a wooden spoon. Either will work. But the idea here is to work vigorously. It's going to thicken up on you fairly quickly. I guess I didn't use the camera all that well today. So you notice I go down the corners. I have the kind of benefit of having a round bottom pot here. But if you have corners, get down in there. Really make sure that nothing's getting stuck down there. And all of a sudden, what's going to happen is it gets near the boiling point, that cornstarch is going to kick in. And it's going to start thickening. It'll gelatinize. And it'll cause this whole mixture to get really thick. As it is right now, it's already starting to thicken.
So all this is gluten-free?
It is, because it's cornstarch instead of wheat flour. And as you can see, this stuff is thickening up quick.
Yeah.
I can only see a little bit in the picture.
Dang. Oh, wow. Oh. That was quick. Are you holding your breath? Sounds like it.
I'm breathing.
Very important.
If it starts boiling a little too vigorously, just pull it off the fire. Get caught up.
I probably will.
River. You can see it's boiling vigorously. That boiling tells you that it's gotten hot enough now for the starch to gelatinize completely. And as you can probably see, it's thickened up quite a bit. It's going to thicken up even more as it cools. And what we're going to do is let that cool down. To prevent a skin from forming on it, you can just throw some plastic directly on top. I mean directly on the surface, and that will keep skin from forming. We do have the butter. The butter is going to do anything special?
Glossy.
Glossy, yeah.
Oh, I mean, and flavor.
Flavor, of course, more richness, more shine. While it's hot, just stir the butter in until it's completely melted. And you might be able to see it on the camera. I don't know if you can see a difference, but it starts to get nice and shiny, nice and glossy. It's also going to help it firm up real nicely when it's cold, because butter, of course, will, solidify when it's cold. But the important thing is it's smooth, and it'll have good flavor. And it's really simple. It's just a real basic vanilla pudding. Let's say you want to make a chocolate version of this. All you have to do is take some pieces of chocolate, throw them in there while it's hot, stir them in just like you would butter. You have chocolate pastry cream. You want coffee? Not a problem. While you're heating up your milk, throw in some coffee grounds, right? Let those steep for 5 or 10 minutes. Take it off the fire. Actually, turn off the fire while it's steeping. Then filter that out with a fine sieve. Now your coffee flavor, throw it back on the fire. Make sure it's the right amount still, because some of it may have evaporated. And your coffee flavored pastry cream. Let's say you want to add mint. Throw mint leaves in with your milk while it's coming to a boil. There's a lot of things you can do. to make it really wonderful. And of course, there are extracts. You know, there's almond extract, lemon extract.
What about lemon balm? Do you do that? We got tons of it.
Yeah.